Despite the numerous advantages of a typical financial news apps, it equally comes with tons of disadvantages as well. So it can serve as a double-edged sword. So in this particular video, I want to talk about why financial news apps can be a double-edged sword, for investors. So while financial news apps, offer many advantages, they also come with some disadvantages that investors should be aware of. Here are the key drawbacks or the pitfalls of a given or a typical financial news app. Number one is information overload. Information overload. So in this context, you discover that we are exposed to too much data, and so the sheer volume of news and updates can be overwhelming, actually, making it difficult to filter out relevant information and focus on what really, counts. You equally have what is called decision paralysis. So constant updates and notifications may lead to decision paralysis where investors, struggle to make choices because of, conflicting information and, overwhelming data. Number two is reliability of sources. Reliability of sources. So in this context, there is this issue of accuracy. Accuracy issues. Not all news, sources or articles within these apps are accurate or, well researched. So relying on unreliable source can lead to poor investment decision. Not only that, there is this issue of bias and opinions. Some apps may feature bias reporting or opinions, pieces that can skew, perception and influence decision based on, based on subjective views. So in this case, we have news items that are kind of, come from a biased source. So if you utilize that particular, news item, that news feed, it might, affect you negatively as an investor. You have to be very, very careful the sources you are getting your news items from. Number three is short-term focus. There's that emphasis on immediate news, short-term focus, and financial news apps often focus on short-term market movements and breaking news, which can distract from long-term investment strategies. They can even serve as noise if care is not taken, and it might derail your overall long-term investment plans. Not only that, there's that increased reactivity. So frequent updates on market fluctuations may encourage impulsive, trading decisions rather than, decisions based on discipline, based on logic, and based on reason, coupled with a long-term approach. Number four is distraction and stress. There's that constant alert. Frequent notification and updates can be distracting and may lead to increased stress and anxiety about market conditions. By saying you keep on receiving news constantly, on a timely basis, if you're not very careful, it might get you distracted. You may subject you to stress, when it comes to the way you absorb and analyze this news. And you have that time consumption. Monitoring news and managing alerts can take a significant portion of your time as an investor, which might distract from what is really important. That is researching companies, to be able to analyze their intrinsic value and to know precisely what to do, either to buy or to sell. It might distract you from what really counts. Not only that, number five is subscription cost. So these apps, most of the time they have paid features, they have premium features. And so some financial apps, offer premium features or exclusive content behind a paywall, which can add to the cost of investing and accessing quality information. So when it comes to the premium aspect of this app, you have to pay for it. So this is kind of cost intensive as an investor. Not only that, there's a high cost. So subscription fees for premium news service and analytical tools can be expensive, especially for individual investors. As a starter, as a beginner investor, for you to be able to shell out this amount of money, for the news apps, for the premium version of the news app is a tall order actually. Though it's important, but it's expensive. You equally have number 6 here is data privacy and security. So in this case, there's that particular privacy concerns. So using financial news apps, often requires sharing personal data, which may arise, privacy concerns and potential risk, as it relates to data security. You get to like share personal information, and as you put it out there, it might be used, against you, probably by scammers or fraudsters, and you may end up losing your money as a result. And there's that security risk as well. So apps and platforms may be vulnerable to cyber attacks or data breaches, potentially exposing sensitive information, about their users, about their clients, about investors. Please subscribe to this channel, like this video, and give me a thumbs up. Number 7 is limited depth of analysis. There's that surface level information because these things are coming very fast, and they're like coming kind of at a greater frequency. So everything it tends to be like disaster. It's not really. It's kind of superficial, and not only that, some apps may provide only surface level news and data without in-depth analysis, limiting the quality and usefulness of this information you might be getting from these apps. And not only that, there's that lack of context. Breaking news and brief updates may lack necessary context or background to fully understand their impact on the market. That background is lacking. That defined context could be absent. So how do you apply this news to market conditions to really help you in your investment analysis? It may not be all that helpful. Number 8 is over-reliance on technology. So in this case, it's that dependency on apps. So over-reliance on financial news apps can lead to neglecting other important research methods and sources of information. If you're only relying on apps, then you may tend to neglect other important news, news sources that could really help you to make better informed decisions. Not only that, there's that technical glitches. So technical issues such as apps crash or connectivity problems can disrupt access to critical information, particularly when it is needed the most. Sometimes, like in my country, Nigeria, a particular network may be out of service. So if you're relying on it, it will cost you much. It will really deprive you of information you will need, that will help you or to go a long way in making better choices as it relates to your investments. So not only that, there's that confirmation bias. There's that echo chamber effects. So in this case, users may gravitate towards news and analysis that confirm their pre-existing beliefs and or biases, which can hinder objectivity in decision-making process. That it reinforces this particular confirmation bias. So whichever news enforces your belief, you go with it, which may not be really true, which may not really be of great benefits, and that will negatively impact your investment decision making process or procedure. And there's that particular selective exposure. The personalization feature of apps might limit exposure to diverse viewpoints and alternative and perspective. You discover that it might limit your exposure to news that are critical to your personal belief, to viewpoints that that could pinpoint pitfalls or that could pinpoint laxity or pitfalls in your investment thesis. Not only that, number 10 is inaccuracy in real-time data. In that case, you have what is called lagging data. The data may lag it may not come, and it may not be as timely as we expect it to be. And so some apps may experience delay in updating real-time data, leading to discrepancies between reported information and actual market condition. That lag could be there, and it's very, very important that we take this into consideration, because it may go a long way in affecting our decision-making process as investors. So these apps actually, they offer disadvantages that we cannot afford to disregard. And this particular data quality is important we analyze to know precisely how qualitative are these data that is being churned out. So the quality and accuracy of real-time data may vary across different apps, affecting the reliability of investment decisions based on these compromised data. And so in summary, financial news apps, are, while valuable, actually, in their real-time updates and the market insights, also comes with potential disadvantages. These include information overload, reliability, issues, short-term focus, distractions, as well as the inducement of what is called market, paralysis by analysis. All these things are things that we need to consider when it comes to the usage of financial news apps. So investors should be mindful of these drawbacks and balance their use, of financial news app with other resources, with other, research methods and source of information. Don't rely too completely on these apps. Try to make sure that you incorporate other source of information, when it comes to your investment decision making. So use the apps, but equally consider, other authentic, respectable, and sources of information. It will be of great help to you as an investor.